everyone, and welcome to Workplace Chat. As you know from my other channel, Blog Media Breeze, I'm going to have to change that. I only put the breeze on because Blog Media was already taken, so I'm going to try to probably buy Blog Media because that's what I want to call my channel. Nonetheless, this is my workplace channel, and I'm just going to kind of wait for some more people to come into the room, to enter into the room, because I wanted us to have a conversation about workplace issues. I've done one video over here. This is the second one that I've done. So we'll see. Let's just see how this goes tonight. I only see a couple of people in who are not in the chat right now. I am really having an issue with this YouTube because I'm trying to figure out how other people make it work. And I complain about it all the time, so I digress. I'm not going to complain about it this evening. The good thing is I can take the link to this video and send it out to people who are in my email. So if I do not get enough people on here tonight, that's what I'll be doing, is I'll copy the link and send it out to other people in the area. Most of the people in my email are in the Mecklenburg County area, or I've gone to college with them, or they're in my, in my network of people. And let's just see who's on here. So you all, I want you to feel free to get down in the chat and talk about your workplace. I want you to feel free to invite other people into this workplace chat if they have also had issues. Some of the major problems in the workplace have to do with communication, interpersonal skills, bullying, bad bosses, just a whole host of things, harassment, discrimination. Discrimination is the one that they make you really prove it. I don't know why they do that, because it's the easiest one to prove, but they want to make it hard on you because they don't want a lot of Black people or minorities litigating. So they make it the most difficult one, which to some degree is unfair. So I'm going to go ahead and get right into it and talk to you about an issue I ran into here in Charlotte, North Carolina, when I worked with a company called CBRE. They are a commercial real estate company. And I was working with them. I was handling like 47 accounts for one company, and other colleagues in the workplace were handling similar amounts of accounts for the same company as well. It was one major account that we were all working on. I had a boss whose last name was Hemphill. And what she did early on, I wasn't even out of training, but she and someone named Maria scheduled these dinners or these after work meetings, these conference calls surrounding me. And little did they know that Maria let me in on it early on, and then she completely turned on me. I don't know what the young lady's issue was with me. I really believe it was jealousy, because when I first saw her in the workplace, it was unbelievable that she was even a supervisor. She was dressed so ghetto, hood rat. It was just like, she just did not resemble anything of a manager. And then I noticed she started wearing attire similar to mine, to what I would wear in the workplace. So I caught on to that as being something quite envious. She was really watching me and mimicking me. And there are people in the workplace who do that to you. What I did not like was they continued, and these are Black women. They continued to have these meetings to have discussions about me. and they created lies. They created lies that they put in my records about me. And one day, and this was early on, I had not been with the company even 2 weeks. It was probably the second week at the company. And there were three of us in this training. I forgot the light skinned, heavyset lady's name, but there was another lady, now I've forgotten her name as well. Brittany was her name. But the lady across the table was talking about going to movies and such, you know, how people talk when they're trying to get to know you. And she asked me something about a movie, and I said, well, I don't go to movies anymore. I'm not interested. Well, the young lady who was sitting to my right was offended that I didn't go to movies. She goes, what? You don't go to movies? Why don't you go to movies? I said, I'm not interested. It's just not a part of my lifestyle anymore. Because they aren't. Movies are not a part of my lifestyle anymore. I don't enjoy them. Sitting there 2 hours at a big screen watching people act is just no longer attractive to me. It's no longer interest to me. Now I can watch YouTube all day, okay? So I didn't understand why the young lady was offended, but she was offended by me not going to movies. It's none of her daggone business if I want to go to movies or not want to go to movies. It's my life. If it's not a part of my lifestyle, she didn't have the right to interject. So what she did was she went outside of that room and told people lies and said that she got into it with me in the meeting or something like that. And Maria is the one who opened up and told me that she said these things. I said I had no interaction negatively with that young woman. I don't know what her issue is. All I said was I don't go to movies, and she just went off the deep end. We're talking about someone who had not even talked to me the whole time that we had been in training, but yet whenever I say I didn't go to movies, she was offended. She doesn't have a right to be offended by what someone else's choices are. Mind your business in the workplace, guys. If someone says something to you about them, you don't have a right to be personally attacked because they're talking about their interests, they're talking about themselves. That particular scene that I just described to you raised up a whole lot of issues against me in the workplace. She went out there and said whatever she said. She was rolling her eyes at me. I was threatened by one of her friends standing in back of me. They would come over to her desk, her cubicle, and talk crap about me while I was seated right there at the cubicle. They sure would. Her and her two other friends in the workplace. One of them, she knew that's how she got the job. So that was the one part of that CBRE issue, right? The other part of it was another lady who looked like a voodoo person, for real, began to bully me in the workplace, would do things like pull on my desk and shake it. And she had an odor to her, guys. I didn't understand this, but she had an odor to her, and they had put her right in the middle as they were trying to get the office straightened out, because the office, I don't know if it was new or if it was new to them, but they were still trying to get things straightened out, and all of our computers were even new. So this person who kept pulling on my desk, and then she would walk by me and threaten me. I was sick of it. In addition to some of the things I have not even told you, but I've only told you about the Hempville manager having the meeting with these girls to create issues about me that were not true. And I've told you about the Brittany girl who was offended that I didn't go to movies. And I've told you about the bully. So all of those things compounded were really beginning to stress me out. I literally knew these women did not like me. And they were all African American, except the one, the one white lady who used to lick her hands. She would lick her hands, you guys, to separate papers. And she sat at a cubicle by me at one point. And what she did one day was she tapped me on my shoulder after she had licked her hands and I had witnessed her. And I said, could you please not do that? She got offended by me for asking her not to do that. I said, well, I know that you lick your fingers. I just saw you licking your fingers, and now you want to touch me. You put saliva on your hands. And she goes, I did not. You did. You licked your fingers to separate papers, and then you touched my shoulder. I was just trying to tell you that Chris wanted you, because Chris was our boss from Chicago. You all, this is the workplace. And this is just a little bit that I was going through, right? At any rate, I was just seeing who else was coming into the room. You guys get down in the chat, have a conversation. Let me know about your workplace issues as well. I'm going to be about done here if I don't get anyone else to come into the chat and talk about their workplace issues. Long story short, I anonymously reported the issue about the bullying to the NAVIX Global Ethics line. I sure did, right? Right after that, the company put me on paid administrative leave. They put me on paid administrative leave, you guys. Now, I ended up going before the EEOC, getting a really bad attorney, and maybe one day I'll give you the details of all of that. Just a really small settlement from them. And it was right before the pandemic. So it happened in the nick of time, because that EEOC date was the 9th. And then they announced the pandemic on the 13th last year of March, at least in North Carolina. So they would have been shut down. And I don't know how that would have panned out, because that did help me through the pandemic, to some degree. So that's one of the issues I faced, and there's much more to this. I succinctly communicated the issues to you, but there was more to that I've left out. I mean, everything from the Caucasian women in human resources from Ohio yelling at me as if I'm some kind of slave. When I reported it to the girl in Ohio, when she reached out to me after I reported it to the ethics line, and she reached out to me, she yelled at me. Now, had she done that today, because that situation has strengthened me, I would tell her, look, I'm not a slave. You're not going to yell at me. I've contacted you about an issue that I'm having. So for you to be yelling at me, that's kind of retaliation. I would have said that to her. But at the time, we needed a job. I needed a job for our household, and I needed to stay employed. So I was just keeping quiet and humble. So anyway, I just want to come on and share this with you. I have some others that I'll be sharing with you. I want to know why it is, or what it is about my channel or me that I can do to raise more subscribers, because I'm here for the same reason that other YouTubers are here. I enjoy being here. At the same time, I want to monetize, and I want to partner. And so I'm surprised at the lack of people who are on this channel, because whenever I did my workplace chat search, there were several channels that I saw, and they had thousands of views. And their channels also dealt with workplace chat. I also Googled workplace tea. So maybe I'll enter that into my description the next time. And then perhaps you guys will want to come over and have a conversation as opposed to being quiet. And I get that some people are just going to want to be quiet. But at any rate, get down, give me a like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so that you can receive these workplace chats as I come on here, because there is a lot more.